I'm so weak.
We might have to make a comment about that.
Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come
Welcome to
on
everybody
in.
tonight.
We about to party tonight, y'all. It's
Yes, yes,
Monday. It's
yes.
Monday. And we had to go back to work. And regardless, I'm still happy today. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us. This is Think Outside the Red Box, and we are here every Monday at 8 p.m. And so we are so glad to have you. We want you to come on in, join in the conversation, talk to us. All right.
Yes. Come
Michael,
on in the room.
Dion, how are you
Yes.
guys?
Oh, doing good. Work was a blast today.
Mike, I
Michael's
think you're
on
on
mute.
mute.
We're gonna need you to unmute, Michael.
All right, I'm good. I said, what a difference a week make, right?
Do you want to tell the Facebook people the good news?
Oh yeah.
Mr. DQ?
Oh, you know. So I had a nice birthday on Saturday, and then I decided that I didn't want to be Sarah Taylor's boyfriend no more. I wanted to be her husband. So
Oh,
yeah, so she decided to say yes. I had to twist her arm a little bit, but I got her to say yes.
all right.
All right, all right, all right.
Look like somebody getting married.
Congratulations. Stephen says,
Look
look
like
like somebody getting married.
look like
And he trying to
somebody's
sit on
getting
here like he
married.
on a GQ magazine.
Well,
Ah,
congratulations. So you got engaged on your birthday.
yeah,
That
I,
was a
I'm
switch of events.
yeah, you got to be strategic. So, when your
Yeah,
wife
buddy.
say, "Yeah, baby, you remember when you proposed?" I sure do. January 9th. Oh yeah.
On
You
my
can't forget
birthday.
that one.
Well, listen,
Michael, I'm
January.
so happy for you.
Thank you, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I'm happy for
January.
me.
Michael, January is a great month. My birthday is in January too. So January is a great month.
It is. When your birthday, Dion?
Yes. On the 26th.
Oh, all right. You Aquarius. That's all
I'm a
right. That's all right.
I'm Aquarius. Yeah, that's all right. I'm just talking about the month. I'm not talking about the sign. Okay, I'm talking about the month.
Ooh.
Leave us water people alone. We all
Yes,
good peoples. Okay, we all good peoples.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, it's funny that Dion and I are friends though, because I had decided I was done with Aquariuses. Like no more friends. I don't want no more Aquarius friends, no Aquarius boyfriend, nothing. I don't know how she snuck in there. But yeah,
that
New
was
Year
that was
rolling
a God
strong.
thing. That was
That
a
must have
God
been a
thing.
God thing.
That was a God thing.
Well, Michael, this is wonderful. Wonderful news to start out our
Yes,
show.
it is.
Hey, our Facebook fans out there, show
Yay!
Mike some love. All right. He is an engaged man now. All right.
So all
Yeah.
you women that was pining over Michael, sorry, he's off the market, ladies.
Y'all was too slow.
Too slow.
Stephen said he's throwing that bachelor party.
All right, go ahead, Cephas.
Tell them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do the thing. Do the
Oh yeah.
thing.
Throw it. Do it big time. See, I'm with you.
Well, well, this news is total opposite of what we're talking
of the
about tonight.
of the exit plan,
We
right?
should have changed the subject. I'm like, God, how do we talk about getting the exit plan? But we
He
got,
should have told us last Monday, Angelina, so we could change it. Why didn't tell us he was going to do that last Monday?
or he could have, when I sent the text message yesterday, he could have said something then.
He could have said something then, huh?
I was still celebrating. I'm sorry. I was so high, my feet was, touching the sky.
You got another congratulations from
Amen.
Gary and Melissa.
Oh
I
yeah.
That's how she says her name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're
They
going to get
good
into
people.
this. Yes, they're very good people. I love them. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Y'all stick with us, okay? Even though we started this out on a not wanting an exit plan.
We might as well talk about being engaged now, Angelina. I mean, how we gonna
I
talk about the
know,
exit
right?
plan?
I
My
just
bad.
Okay.
I
My
feel
bad.
so
My
weird
bad.
talking about that.
My bad. We can still talk about. Hey, I that was an exit plan from being single. I didn't like being single no more.
Well, there you
I
go. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm the marrying type. I ain't the boyfriend
Okay.
type.
Well,
I ain't the
that's a good thing.
Y'all
I ain't
hear
the
that, ladies?
yeah.
If y'all watching, do y'all hear that? There are some men out there who want to be married. There's
Yeah.
some men out here who are not trying to be all around town with every Sue and Jane and whoever else. Okay, there are some men out here who really do commit. So for those of you out there wondering if there's any men around, there are. You just have to be a little bit patient, and you just got to work on some things to attract the men that are committed. There are some committed men out there. All right. So, but for those who are not committed, we're going to talk about the exit plan.
Right.
Oh, the exit plan. All right. So, the thought behind this was exiting the life the life you didn't ask for, so that you can pursue and get the life that you imagine. That's what I want to talk about tonight, because there's so many of us. And let me just say this: the exit plan doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're leaving someone. Okay, you don't have to necessarily be leaving someone, but it does mean that even if you're in a relationship, where you are right now is not necessarily where you see yourself. You see yourself, right? And you need to exit that life that you didn't imagine for yourself, and pursue the life so that you could pursue your greatness. And so that exit plan could just mean doing some things within your marriage, within your friendships or your relationships, okay, to make them better. Or it could mean that you need to leave. It could mean either one. So we'll talk a little bit about both. Dion and Mike, what's on your mind when you
We'll,
hear the exit plan?
we'll let ladies first.
All right. So when I think about exit plan, Michael said something earlier that I have been thinking about is a strategy. When you think about exiting something, you think about having a strategy. Ladies, when you decide that you are men, when you decide that you're either in relationships, be it job, be it family, be it relationships or what you have to have a strategy when you have an exit plan. When you go on most jobs and you're leaving a job, the first thing they want to know is why you're leaving. They want you to have an exit plan, right? They want to know why you're leaving, what made you leave, who did you something. And a lot of times we have exit plan because somebody did us something, or something that we didn't agree with, or a red flag came up. Like for instance, I was thinking, wow, how is it that we've been talking and in a relationship, be it male or female, and then we decide that we have a 5-year plan while we're dating and planning on getting married, like Michael, and then we develop a 5-year plan, and then all of a sudden things go wrong, and the person that you thought you were engaged to turned out to be extravagant. He liked to spend up all the money, or he doesn't even make enough money. You helping him keep his car note paid, or helping him, pay his apartment note or whatever. So, ladies or gentlemen, even for you too, gentlemen, um, we have to have a strategy because those are red flags for exit plans. So, some things are good. We want to exit being single so we can get married, and sometimes we in with our suitors, and our suitors that we find out are not quite what we hoped they would be, or even like you said, Angelina, in marriages, and find out that the person that we're married to is a liar, is a cheater, is whatever. And we have to start making those strategic plans. So I had a lot of things on my mind, a lot of different places I could go, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about this afternoon.
I had
Yeah.
an exit plan.
Okay. Do Doug know about it?
Fortunately, it's not since I've been with Doug, but um, in my previous relationship with my daughter's father, I had to have an exit plan. And when I say I planned that my exit, I didn't just, sometimes we get a little emotional and we just decide that, oh, he did this to me and I'm gone. And we not thinking rationally, right? I had to think rationally. As much as I said I didn't want to be in this relationship no more, I can't stay in this relationship no more. This is not good for me. It's not good for my daughter. I don't want her growing up and seeing what's going on in the dynamics between the two of us. I didn't just pack my bags and go. I made a plan. I
Mm-hmm.
planned it out, money wise, where I'm gonna go live. At the time, I was losing. I had lost my job. Was losing my business and my real estate. I've told this story before, so I'm not going to tell that story again. But I was losing my investment properties, and I was losing everything. And I was having to file bankruptcy. And I actually had somebody help me plan things out, how to go get my car before my credit got messed up, how to go to find me an apartment while my credit was still good so I could choose where I wanted to live, right? Going out to find a job, just securing the bag so I could take care of me and my baby. And then after I got the apartment and after I got the car and got the job and I got everything in place, I came back to him and said, I'm moving on this day and I need you to move my stuff and you're not going with me. And he
There
moved
you
my
go.
stuff and he didn't go with me. But I planned it out. I didn't just, sometimes we gotta stop and exhale and think about what's my next move, because you don't want to make the wrong move in haste, right? And then you make things worse than they already are because you didn't think it through. So you want to make this plan with a more rational mind of what's going to be best, what is my next move, which way I should go. And so that's what I did.
Yeah. I think when I really was thinking about it today, unfortunately for many, the exit plan is like just jumping out of a plane with no parachute, and when you get out there, say, I'm gonna figure it out. But there's no figuring out once you make the jump. So your exit plan has to end with an exclamation point and not a question mark. You can't say, I'm out of here, and you don't even know what the end goal is going to be. That's it. I'm done. I'm tired of her. I'm tired of him. I'm out. Where you going to live? Yeah, I didn't figure that one out. So it first starts with just really giving some earnest heed, some thought, some real in-depth thinking about, do I like where I'm at? And if you say no, I really don't, usually you've been there a while. So I'm saying if you don't like where you're at and the person done showed you who they are, and this is to my lady friends, my ladies friend who I love. Females are just like top of the heap. Man, once a guy really show you who he is, really truly believe it, you're not gonna rehabilitate him.
Believe him.
And I believe him. And somebody told me one time, say you cannot love the love out of somebody. Either they're gonna love you or they're not. But we will fall into that trap, man. If I just buy him a new car, they're gonna love me. If I just buy him a new suit, he gonna love me. Man, if I buy them new Jordans, he gonna love me. No, he's just gonna continue to use you. You should not have to buy love. Love is free. It's really, really free. And when you really love somebody, truly love them, they will do for you, and in turn, you will do for them. So your plan starts with, where am I at? And where do I want to go? Just don't start off just driving a car saying, man, I want to go somewhere. So I'm just gonna get in the car and just drive until I get there. Because somebody's gonna say, where you going? I don't know. Well, I mean, you ever thought about it? So think about it. So I'm saying, first step, do you like where you at? If you don't, think about it.
So so I'm about to go biblical on you.
Come on and preach, sister. Go ahead, Sister Watkins.
Because when you were talking, I was thinking, because as women, we sometimes, why don't we believe when they show us and tell us who they are. You know, there's many times when men will tell you, I don't want to be in a relationship. And we as women, we just think that we are the shiznai and we're going to turn this thing around. And they're going to become committed and be in a relationship because I got that good. And I just have to ask myself
Wait a
where.
minute. That may be true. You may have the good, but there's a billion women with that same good. I'm just saying.
But we've got this, even though we're insecure, we got this ego that, like, I can turn him out, right? And he'll stay. And so I'm just like, where did we get this mentality that we can change a man? Why don't we ever believe that? We've been saying this for a long time. But it was making me, when Michael, when you were talking, it was making me think about in Genesis. I
Mm,
might get some names wrong,
all
but
right.
um, Jacob
All right.
went to get his wife. Was it Rachel? But they
Hmm.
gave him the sister first. I don't remember the sister's name. I think it was Dinah, but I could be wrong.
We'll call
Um,
her side chick. Go ahead.
and so they gave him the oldest daughter first. That's not who he wanted. He wanted Rachel, and so he had to wait another 7 years so he can marry Rachel because that's the one he really loved. But Dinah was determined to do all that she could do to make this man love her. If I just give him another child, if I give him a child, if I give him another son, if I give him this son, right, he's gonna love me. And it didn't, no matter what she tried to do to satisfy Jacob and please Jacob and turn Jacob's heart towards her, it didn't, never did. Rachel was his favorite, and Rachel's firstborn was his favorite. And as women, we've got to start understanding that you can't change a man's heart and you can't change a man's nature. Who he is who he is until he decides that he wants to change, right? And we've got to accept that. And then you got to make a decision. Can I tolerate this? Can I take this? Or can I do better and move on? I mean, that's the God honest truth. But this has been going on since the beginning of time. Tamika says, true. So they mindsets definitely need to change. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Tamika. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and one thing, Angeline, you can count on is that men are love who they love. Now, they, even though some men might have extramarital relationships or they might do things on the side, but they love who they love. And it's unfortunate, like you said, they've been doing it since the Old Testament. They have concubines and many wives and many children, but they love that one person. And that's who they sold out to. Because if you notice, sometimes they would run their concubines away. They'd send them on a donkey with the kids. And then, like Sarah and Abraham, when she wanted him to have a child, but she thought she couldn't give him one. So then he had to have a strategy plan because she was getting sick and tired of her little
The
housemaid.
sidekick.
Once she had her own baby, the
It's
sidekick,
it's
she had
Ishmael's
gotten a little
mama.
upset. She was like, Abraham, you got to get her up out of here because me and mine come first. And what he do? He set them on a donkey and sent them on their way. So women, when you're thinking about, scriptural things and when you're thinking about biblical times, even the children of Israel, Moses had a plan for them, an exit plan for them, which Moses didn't even make it to the promised land because of his murmuring and complaining. So when we have a strategy plan, we have to not murmur and complain. We have to make sure that we study the course, figure out what the plan is, and go for it. And but make a plan. Don't just wander in the wilderness without a plan. Make a plan. Have a plan. Stick to your plan and maneuver it. If you're just gonna have a plan and you're gonna murmur and complain, you're gonna be like the children of Israel in the wilderness. And some of them never got to see Canaan. They never got to see milk and honey. Their children did, but they never did. So when you make a plan, stick to your plan. Your plan won't it won't cause you to go left if you stay straight on your plan and on your venture that you're going on, and know that God got you. He won't let you fall. We just gotta steady the course. And like Michael said, if a man tell you who he is, believe him. Who said that? Maya Angelou. If a person tells you who you are, believe him. If he shows up and show you who he is or who she is, believe him. Get a plan. Stick to your plan.
You're on mute, Mike.
Dang it. All right. I think you doing that on purpose. I'm just kidding. No, even with your plan, you got to be faithful to your plan, because there's, the one of the saddest things I see is when another woman tells another woman, "Girl, you crazy. I wouldn't leave him. That man makes six figures. Let him have his chick on the side." So they are okay with that as long as he's doing this for me. And I'm telling you, do not let somebody derail your plan. Stick to your plan. If it's a good plan, think about your plan, strategize. You know what the end, you know what you want to accomplish. And you said, I need to be here in 6 months. I need to be there. God is about order. He's about order. So when you do things in order, put him first in everything, and everything else will be added. So I say, put him first. Ask him. Seek his counsel in meditation, in prayer. You have to be alone sometimes. Sometimes you have to get away and sit by the lake and look at yourself and say, man, what do I really want to do? Because this here, this ain't it. And if you sit at that lake from 5 o'clock when you get off to 8 o'clock, and your man know you should be home at 6, and if he haven't called or text you, that's saying something. He ain't missing you. He wants you to stay at that lake longer. So I say, meditate on it. And another thing, we do a lot of things on emotion. Emotion is like lighter fluid. It's going to soon burn out. Then what you going to have to keep that fire burning? So do not do anything on emotion. You really, really, really have to have a definitive, a strategic thought that I can do better, and then execute the plan and stick to it. It may look like you're going to go backwards, but sometimes you have to go down, to go over, to go up. But the order of the day is forward. That's to my HOJ family.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute now. So we're gonna have to go backwards, because what if you don't? How will you know if your plan is good? That's one thing. And then I think there's a thing about. I just talked about this on Friday, on my webinar, about taking counsel from unwise people and understanding where they are when you're taking advice from them. But sometimes I have to think about the fact that when you're broken, you go to broken people to get advice, and broken people are going to give you broken advice. And then now here it is, you're listening to bad advice, because that's what happened to me. Because when I first met my daughter's father, he had lied, and I was like, I'm done. But he told me the truth, so I'm like, okay, I'll give him a chance. But when he came with the second line, I'm like, oh no, I got to go. I can't do this. Like, this was red flags all over. But the person that I went and cried to and talked to was like, oh, you should stay. You should give him a chance. He was honest with you. He told you the truth, and you should, just see how it goes. And in my broken state and in my emotional state, here I am listening to the worst advice ever. And when I go back and reflect on it, that person was in probably no condition whatsoever to tell me to stay based upon her past relationships, right? But I listened to her. But I was not in the right state, and I did not go get the right counsel. So what do you say to people who just, they're not there? Melissa said, and I'm gonna put it back up here on the screen, making a plan is hard for people with low self-esteem. you know and so what do you say to those people with low self-esteem, or those people who were like me? I don't think I was at that time. Yeah, I probably had some low self-esteem, but I had enough to know, this ain't right, I should go. These are some red flags. Get out while you can. But because I was so hurt and I was so broken, I went and got the wrong advice from the wrong person. Like, how do you even rectify that? I said a lot, but
No, it's okay. The low self-esteem is real and it is difficult to make it. But even in low self-esteem, you have to sit there. I keep saying you have to really look at your life. You have to, you know, my good friend, he's no longer here. His name was Brother Jackson. And he said something. He said, you have to look at the man in the mirror. You got to ask him to change his ways. And no question, I mean, that's later, but seriously,
I'm mad at you.
rest in peace, brother Mike. But my point is, no matter how much we chuckle, that's really a true song. The only
Mhm.
person that you really are beholden to is that man in the mirror. But low self-esteem makes you beholden to everybody else. And you know who always comes last in a low self-esteem person? You do. You're going to put everybody ahead of you. So I'm saying when you're low, when you're really, really low, you need somebody, you need something. A car is no good. It could be full of gas, great tires. It could be a Lexus. But until that car has a spark, it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting in the yard with a nice wax job looking good. So low self-esteem, you have to realize that you're running low and you have to seek guidance and you have to seek somebody that can help you at least buoy you because self-esteem is on the inside, but somebody from the outside can help you get there. Good friend of mine, Anthony Dwight Bobo Sr., when I was telling him about my situation, I loved it. Everybody else was like, hang in there, you could do it, you're strong, your last name is Montgomery. Anthony Dwight Bobo Sr. looked at me, and when I got done, he said, Michael, it's over. Move on. That was it.
That's that Bishop Harris look.
Yeah. And he meant it. And I told him afterwards, I said, out of everybody else that was giving me advice, I appreciated that the most because it was real. And it was what I needed, and it wasn't what I wanted.
Yes, Lisa, I totally missed that. He clowning tonight.
Yeah, he clowning, but that's all right. But I wanted to share at 21, I'm a divorcee. So when I married my high school sweetheart, and his mother, my ex husband he was a lover. Okay, bless his heart, and well, and he got caught honestly too, as honestly as he gave. He got caught as honestly as he gave. Okay, and I remember his mother led me to Christ. Okay, she was one of those little Christians that she had a sense of who Jesus was, and she led me to Christ at the age of 21. And I remember her telling me to stay. I asked her. I said, "Well, did God tell you to stay?" She said, "No, I just stayed because I wanted to." I said, "Well, I don't want to stay." So at 21, even though I didn't have a strategy plan, I had a heart plan because I decided I was in it for me. And I left going back home without a plan, but I knew I had to save me. So sometimes not having a plan don't always not work for you if you got somewhere to land. You gotta have to make sure you have to have somewhere to land though. Of course, I didn't have any kids or anything; it was just me. But you have to have somewhere to land, even if you leave and you walk away, so that you're not totally out there drowning and don't have anywhere to go. But when people give you advice and it's not very good advice, you have to sometimes just follow your heart and let your heart lead you because like Angelina said, hurt people. They share hurt things and they share hurt advice. And because they stayed for years and years and still come up empty, they want you to stay and fight because they stayed and fight and for no reason. But sometimes it's okay to leap. Sometimes you'll land in a good place. I'm not saying all the time. That just happened to me and I was able to go without a strategy. And here I am now Married 31 years, 32 years this year to my husband. We've been together 36 years, and I couldn't have foreseen it, but God certainly had a plan. And that thing that I thought in the back of my mind I could have, He delivered on it. So if you hold out and wait, He'll deliver.
Angelina, can I get clinically serious real quick?
Sure.
So I appreciate so much what Melissa said. And as I was sitting here, I said, it's not, this is not funny. So, all jokes aside, that low self-esteem is a derivative of depression. When you're in that state, you really do need some serious help. Professionally, low esteem is something that will take you further and further down. It's hard to get out of low self-esteem on your own. Usually, a low self-esteem person will go from one person who takes from her to somebody else who takes from her or him, and it's like what you put out there you attract, and there's always somebody out there that want to take from you, and you say, I keep going in the same relationships. So I'm saying at some point, even in your low self-esteem, you have to give it some earnest thought that I don't want to be here no more. Everybody has an opportunity to be better, but you really have to realize that it's possible. And a lot of people in low self-esteem situations don't even see it as possible until somebody else gives them that hope, gives them that understanding that you can do better. But you have to really put in some work to get there. And a lot of low self-esteem is rooted in, family stuff that happened when they was a child. So I say until they get some deliverance from that, it's going to be hard to move up out of low self-esteem.
But Mike, so you said, and I want to share a comment from Tamika in a second, but um, you said that low self-esteem is hard to get out of that unless somebody comes and helps you. But also, I think it goes back to what you said when we were talking about breaking cycles, which is until your dysfunction turns on you, right? Because for me, my dysfunction turned on me.
Yeah.
And here I am in this relationship that is not benefiting me and it's not good for me. This person is, not treating me well. They are cheating on me. They're lying to me. And, the question becomes, well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? And it's so easy to ask someone, why didn't you leave, or or why are you still there, when not really understanding the emotions that's going on in someone who's broken and someone who's insecure and someone who's not feeling worthy and they're feeling devalued and they're frustrated and they don't know what to do. I've come this far. I was embarrassed, right? I didn't even want to let nobody know what I was going through, that I actually, Angelina, straight A student, you know, smart, intelligent. This is what you ended up with. I didn't want nobody to know that I had made this dumb decision, right? And so it's not till it turned on me. It's not till we kept having these side chicks, and then one of these side chicks comes and she's stalking me, right? And I'm afraid for my life. I'm scared. Sometimes I don't even know, from day to day, if I walk out this door to go to work, if I'm going to even see another day. Like, I'm afraid for my life. But it wasn't until there was something inside of me that was fearful, but that also said, you know what? I gotta fight back. I deserve better. I don't have to take this. I had to start remembering where I came from, right? I had to start remembering whose child I was, not just up there, but down here on earth, whose child I was, the Billy Cheers, okay? And I had to start fighting back, right? And I had to tell myself that if I die tomorrow, I'm gonna die fighting for my life. But no way am I going to live the rest of my life in fear. So my dysfunction turned on me. And so um I think it's twofold. It could be that you're low self-esteem and you need somebody to come along and pick you up. But I think it's also what you said, last week, which is, or a couple weeks ago, that when your dysfunction turns on you. But remembering whose child I was, I want to share Tamika's comment. Um, She said, but nobody should have to seek love from someone else for them to love themselves. So we as parents should definitely teach our daughters and sons while they're at home. And that is so true. And even though you try to teach your children how to value themselves, that they're worthy, there's so many influences in this world that goes against everything you're trying to teach them. I mean, because if you look at me and where I came from, why in the world would you think that someone like myself would have, insecurities? And sometimes I'm confident and sometimes I'm not confident. Sometimes I have, you know, low self-esteem and sometimes I have high self-esteem. Like it was a yo-yo for me. And but why? And so I think about when but I had to remember, right? Something was ingrained in my brain to make me remember whose child I was, to say, you gotta fight back. But there's a lot of people who try to teach their children this, but they've got friends at school, they've got TV, they've got movies, they've got all the stuff going on in the world around them that makes them feel totally opposite of what their parents are teaching. What does a parent do with that? I mean, what are we supposed to do with that?
What are we supposed to do with what, Angelina?
Trying to teach your children to have low self-esteem so that they don't find themselves in these kind of situations, but yet it's you against the world influences that wants to tell them the opposite.
Well, we could go scripture when he said, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he get old, he won't depart. You know, training a child is not just verbal, but it's really action. What are you doing? Are you training them and are you living a life to where they could model and not have low self-esteem? Are you
Oh,
yourself? Go
oh,
ahead.
say it, Dion. Go ahead. Say it, Dion.
You teach who you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's true. So, they're watching you. So your words may say, Susie, when you get to school, don't let none of them little girls make you feel like you're not as pretty as them. But when she gets home, you feel so unpretty, TLC, you know, and you can. And so I'm saying you have to be careful of your walk in front of your children because your walk will betray your talk and they will watch your walk and not listen to your words because the proverb said when deeds speak, words mean nothing. So wherever you do, it's going to have a lasting impression. They're going to remember that even though mom was broken, she didn't raise us to be broke. Even though mom was sad, mom made us feel strong. She told us every day, my mom was strong. Yeah, we may not have had money, but let me tell you, my mom got up every morning and made sure our clothes was clean, made sure we could do this. She only had an 8th grade education, but she sat there every night trying to help us. Those are strong things that you can hold on to. So I'm saying you have to model it for your children. Just don't talk about it. You have to be about it. I was going to ask y'all, have y'all seen my phone? Girl, my phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
It's one of them nights.
So the exit plan, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I come across a lot of people, and I mentioned it earlier. I come across a lot of people who it's hard for them to walk away, right? We can talk about making a plan, but you got to make a decision first. You got to make a decision that it's time to go. You got to make that decision that, I deserve better. I don't want mediocre. I don't want to stay here. This is not benefiting me physically. It's not benefiting me emotionally. It's not benefiting me financially. I'm not getting anywhere. I can't get anywhere in my career. And when you leave, right? You leave knowing you have a reason why. I think, this is coming to me that Felicia Hawkins said that was good. I think she's talking about you, Michael. But I don't know why I just lost my thought right in the middle of the thought.
Because you're getting a little bit mature in your numerical age.
How embarrassing.
It happens. We are talking about exit plan and having a strategy. You were talking about that,
Oh, people not
Angeline.
wanting to leave.
Yeah.
You know this is not good for you. You know this is not good for you, but you don't leave. Like it's just hard for you to make that decision. You know I shouldn't be here, but we just don't want to let go. Is that a part of having low self-esteem, or can you just really love somebody so much that you are willing to stay in the toxic relationship?
Well, I've spoken. I think Sister Dion has something to say.
All right. Well, I was listening, but I think we have to be intentional, about our lives and what we do and even our emotions. I think a lot of times we tell ourselves lies, and then we try to live up to the lies that we tell ourselves because it becomes comfortable. It becomes comfortable with staying versus leaving, or it's easier to stay than it is to leave because it's going to require something. And a lot of times we don't want to put the time and the effort in that it's going to require for us to leave or for us to start all over again. I think some women stay because they feel like there's no hope or there's nowhere to go, or nobody's going to catch them if they fall, or if they got baggage with them, because if they have children, then it's harder to leave if you have children. Of course, I didn't have any children, so for me leaving, it was easy. It was just myself. Would I have made another decision if I had children? I would like to think not. I would like to think that I would have chose myself. But sometimes women don't choose themselves, and for many different reasons, not just because of low self-esteem, but low self-esteem is high, on the list, but sometimes just because they don't know where they're gonna go with them and 5 kids,
Yeah.
so they
Well, back
make
in the
different.
day, I'm sorry, Dion. Back in the day, it was
No,
economics. You know, I don't have nowhere to go. I can't go back home to mom and pop. I don't have any skills. I would say this, ladies, listen to me. When you have a man that don't want you to improve yourself academically, don't want you to get any skills, be careful, because that's the isolation game. The isolation game is I'm going to isolate her. I'm going to cut her off from her friends and her family, and I'm going to make her be totally dependent upon me. When a man has you totally dependent upon him, he will take full advantage of you because you have nowhere to go. Ladies, get your education. Ladies, get a skill. Ladies, if you want to, you have the right to get you a job. Ladies, you do not have to stay home and raise your children like they did in the past. You can have big mama, auntie, sister. You could take them to daycare, but get out and do something for yourself. It's so attractive when you have an independent woman. It is so attractive to many men. And let me tell you, women with children, you just as attractive as a woman without. Matter of fact, a lot of men will take a woman with children because she know what she want, and she knows she ain't gonna put up with no bull, and she ready to settle down and be a good wife or a good partner in a relationship. So I say, ladies, please go get it. This tonight, 2021 and beyond. This is ladies' time. This is y'all time. Go get it. Go get it. You deserve it.
So we got a few comments though. I want to share because when the question is, we know we should leave, but we just can't leave, and it's hard for us to leave. And Felicia Hawkins, I'm gonna put it back up on the screen, said some people don't know about them soul ties. We need to talk about them soul ties. We'll come back to that one. Tamika Davis said that people do stay in toxic relationships because they think no one will want them, and some just don't want to start over. And Oh my God, that is so true. It's so true. They're tired of trying. We done had one bad relationship after another bad relationship, and we've gotten tired of starting over. I've got to go get to know somebody else all over again and be dealing with the same mess. I might as well just deal with this person. And again, Michael, that goes back to what we talked about last week about coping, you know. And why leave? I already know their ammo. I already know their schedule, their routine. I already know how this is going to go. I already know how to work around this. So I might as well just well stay where I am. I might as well just stay where I am and deal with what I got, because it could just even get worse. The grass is not always greener on the other side, and we just don't even want to start over. Um, Gary Davis said that sometimes we become too proud to admit sometimes that it didn't work or it makes me look bad.
Yeah.
That was me. I
Yeah.
didn't want to look bad. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I didn't know what people were going to think of me. And the whole thing about that is, why am I ashamed? I wasn't the one cheating. I wasn't the one lying, but yet I'm the one carrying the guilt and the shame, right? I'm the one hiding and trying to save face while he's just doing whatever he want to do. And so I have to say, don't carry that guilt and shame of what somebody else did that you feeling guilty and you didn't. It wasn't you. You're not the one who was out there doing that kind of stuff.
Can I say
And
something to that, Angelina, real quick? See, that's the trick of the trade. The trick of the trade is if he's cheating on me, it's not something broken in him, it's something broken in me. I wasn't good enough. I couldn't whip it like he wanted to be whipped. No, he's just a dog. Baby, you beautiful. You got it going on, and you gotta believe that dudes that cheat, it ain't always about beauty. Have some of my friends that cheated with another woman, I look at the other woman and be like, you messing with that, and you got a beautiful wife at home. It ain't about beauty. It's something broken in them, and that causes them to do things that makes you feel like you don't know how to do it. Oh yes, you do. Oh yeah, girl, you beautiful. Walk in your beauty. You all right?
yeah, that was me, Mike. When I saw the side chick, I was like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah,
Really? Like, I ain't saying I'm no beauty queen, but really? That's what you want? That's what you cheated on me with? Like, for
yeah.
real? It was horrible.
I
It was
know. He messing with Winsong and you with Chanel. Let him have it.
you went and got you a Pinto when you had a Bentley.
Come on now, go ahead, V.
Tamika says discussion is so important and definitely needs to be talked about every day. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We really do. We need to start having more of these discussions so that people can understand that where you are is not where you have to be. And if you're not happy where you are, you don't have to stay there. There is life after heartbreak. There is life after pain. And you can do better, you can be better, but you have to be willing to go for greatness. You've got to plan the exit. Like, you've got to make that decision that you're going to go. But again, I said that exiting does not always necessarily mean leaving a relationship. You know, if you're in a marriage and things aren't going well, your exit plan doesn't mean that you've got to exit the marriage. It just could be I'm going to exit where we are. I'm going to put in a different plan. I'm going to do something different. We're going to go to counseling so that we can work out our issues, and if I'm going to go to counseling so I can work on who I am, right? Or in discovering who I am. It's okay to discover who you are after marriage. You should before marriage, but it's okay to do it after marriage. But you don't necessarily have to leave who you're with, because maybe they're really not a bad person. Maybe they haven't cheated. Okay, it's just something's not right. Things are not meshing. Maybe y'all are just not getting along, and that may be the time that you all need to not exit the relationship, but exit who you are in the relationship, who you have become that you shouldn't be, and plan exit exiting you, right? Plan leaving it behind. Because when we think about Exodus, that's our theme for the month, Exodus, and we think about Israel going through the wilderness, exiting Egypt, going through the wilderness to get to Canaan, they had to exit themselves. It was them that was the enemy. It was them that was in the way. It was their mind. It was their mental. It was their emotional. And God had to take them through the wilderness so that they can start working on who they were, because who they were couldn't handle the giants if they had went through the Philistines, right? And so now here you are. They need to exit their murmuring and their complaining and their dim lights and not seeing things and not understanding where God is trying to take them. And so exit could just mean that you need to exit you and you need to become a better you in that relationship. We're always quick to run. We're always quick to leave. When and we're the problem. We're the problem. And so you go to another relationship and you're still having the same problem. Why? Because you're there. And then you go to another relationship and you have the same problem. Why? Because you're still there and you're not exiting who you are so that you can become a better person that can build healthy relationships.
Yeah, well said. Well said, Angelina. And wherever you go, that's where you are. And remember, nothing changes until you change something. If you want something to change, then you change something. But if you keep on accepting the status quo day in, day out, I'm just going to keep letting him or her run out and do their thing. And when they get home at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to say, baby, did you eat? What? No. You say, baby, I hope you got the new key to this lock I put on the door, because love should have brought you home.
You're so silly. Tamika
I
said
am
that's
so
true.
sorry.
No, that's cool. It's all right. I'm pretty sure they enjoy the laughs and the giggles. You know, we don't want to be all serious all night, but
All right.
Tamika says that's true. I think people forget about their vows and what and for what better or for worse means. They do. I think they do. Okay. And so we take these vows and it's all just they don't mean anything when you go into them broken, because you go into this thing with these expectations of what you want and what you think it should be and who they should be and how they should treat you. We go in there with our pride, we go in there with our selfishness, we go in there with our self-serving ways, and we forget what it means to be for better or for worse. We forget what it means to be a partner. We forget what it means to collaborate and cooperate and work together. We forget what a marriage is all about. We forget that you're supposed to utilize each other's strengths and hold each other up in their weaknesses. Like, we forget these things, right? And then we just get so consumed in what we want and what we want to do. And you got to exit you. We've got some comments coming in. Melissa says, make sure you talk to a person that is looking out for your best interest while helping you to develop your exit plan. Absolutely. Absolutely. Check the resume. Check the resume. Okay? Because as I said earlier, what they've been through, where is their advice coming from? They might have a good heart, but that don't mean their advice is going to be right. You got to check their resume. You can't take advice from people who are no better off than you are. And so what I told them in my webinar on Friday is you got to find the person that's where you want to be. And you go and get advice from a person who's where you want to be, because that person is going to be able to guide you and give you the process to getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not that person now who's going to point there. Why would you take advice from someone who's getting beat? You getting beat, you going to somebody who's getting beat. You getting cheated on, you going to somebody who's getting cheated on. They're not rational. They haven't rationalized enough to be able to give you wise advice. But so whatever your exit plan is, whether the exit plan is you need to make sure you seek wise counsel. If the exit plan is Leaving, you need to seek wise counsel. Gary says becoming stagnant in relationships can lead to more issues. Unwilling to become flexible and open-minded is what bogs the relationship down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any comment on that?
Yeah. First off, I almost said saints. Good friends. There are just some people that are just not marriage material. They're just not. And there are quite a few men that I know that, my God, they like to get married, but they don't know how to stay in the married state. So getting married to them is nothing. That's just an event. But marriage is a daily walk. It's waking up in the morning, being satisfied and content and happy with the one laying next to you. Waking up, leaving for work, giving your wife a kiss goodbye, and sometime during the middle of the day, you start missing her. So you text her, "Hey, honey bunches, just thinking about you." And it doesn't have to just be in the first year of marriage. It could be the 20th or the 30th. Everybody, name a woman in a marriage that really loves her man, that don't like her man, sending her a little note that say, "Hey, honey bunches, I'm thinking about you." So it's the little things that lead to big things. But if you stop doing the little things, the big things are gonna be too cumbersome. Lord, yeah, you want me to go to the mall with you every Saturday? No, just today. I don't feel like it. You're starting to lose interest. So remember, you should love to be together with your partner. Have some time for yourself. I highly recommend that. But there got to be something in you that like being around the person you with. And I say this: you can love anybody, but you don't like everybody. And if your husband or wife don't like you anymore, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Well, I would prefer not to be called honey bunches of oats. You can just call me. I can't even get it out.
Sweetie pie, honey dip, whatever, my boo boo, whatever.
Pretty
You
dip.
know the
No, I
words.
prefer not to be called that.
All right. I'm showing my age. I don't know what the new folks call each other. I'm old. What's wrong with a
Listen,
honey dip?
folks. Let's
He said,
learn how
"What's
to
wrong with a honey dip?"
communicate.
Sweet honey, you know, whatever.
Don't call me no food.
All right, all
No,
right, all right.
I'm
what's
just
your
kidding.
girl name?
I'm just
What's your
kidding.
girl
I'm just
name, Mike?
kidding.
What's your
What's
girl
my
name,
lady
Mike?
name? What's my
Yeah,
fiance's name?
yeah. What's your girl name?
My fiance. She ain't no girl.
Dion, he
Believe
wants you to
that.
get it right. Okay,
Yeah,
calling her
I know,
girl.
I
she ain't no
know.
girl.
What's your boo name?
My boo is Sarah A. Taylor, soon to be Montgomery.
All
And if
right.
Hey,
Well,
she,
Sarah.
Sarah,
that's
we're
right.
gonna pray for you, honey, that you don't become food items all through your marriage relationship,
All
okay?
right.
Because you
Well,
might
look,
get upset and might have to ask him to exit calling you honey bunches.
no, no. Her name is Mama Delicious. We'll leave it right
Oh
Oh,
there.
my
okay.
goodness.
We'll leave
I
it
don't
right
think
All
there.
you should have
right.
told us that.
Right.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, baby.
Sarah, we praying for you, kiddo. Congratulations. We praying for you,
Yes,
honey.
congratulations. All
Mm.
right, y'all. We are at the top of the hour. This has been a good conversation. I just want to thank our Facebook family out there for watching us tonight. We're here every Monday at 8 p.m. Don't forget to like and share this video. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So we appreciate you all so much. Come join us next Monday as we continue to have these tough conversations and we talk about these things that need to be talked about. All right. As always, be unbothered.
Bye.
Good
Peace.
night.
Stay